Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kurojiri, your resident tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet fighting robot series. Now, as we draw closer to Medarot Day, just around the corner, just a little over a week at time of recording today on November 19th, 2024, it looks like the hype train most certainly is not stopping anytime soon. First, we had about a month or so and a half of Digimon content, leading up right behind it with a rerun of the Gridman Universe collaboration with some very powerful parts there. And now it looks like they threw yet another kink in the works to surprise and just absolutely blow the socks off the fellow Medarotters of the world with a rerun not only of the limited time anime Metabee and Rokusho, but also a second round of the anime tie-in collaboration. This time featuring two also very iconic faces from the anime itself, Smilodon and Warbonnet both finally get the anime treatment with completely new kits and a 1 in a million specialized model to go with it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was officially announced for this week, starting with the Gacha banners, and boy do we have a number of models to expect and see incoming as things go forward. But, of course, with the new models, as you see here, the two main ones, of course, are STG-0 Smilodon A, with a completely brand new kit across the board of Shoot Trap A, Claw A, Hammer A2, Biped Legs, and Stub. Basically, to explain most of these skills in just a very small amount of words, basically this entire new kit is essentially Smilodon 2.0 for a lot of cases. Shoot Trap A basically is just a much higher damage punish to anyone that does end up trying to proc that with a shooting attack. Claw A is basically Sujigiri if you catch them on the back end, but standard Claw if anywhere else. Hammer A2 inflicts Deathlock and ignores defense when attacking the enemy with an AoE attack. And Stub gives you an all parts damage bonus for every time you successfully dodge or graze incoming attacks. Additionally to Smilodon, we're also getting KLN-0 Warbonnet A, with a mostly new kit of Heater Plant A, Rifle and Gatling A, similarly to the original anime Metabee, Biped Legs, and another new leg ability of Clincher, which grants him a damage buff when he's attacking a foe that cannot dodge or defend. Now, being completely honest here, this is already incredibly exciting for a lot of folks, especially for folks that know the anime incredibly well and really know and love a lot of these familiar faces. So, it only makes sense that they'd be highlighting them for an anime tie-in rerun, or even just a round 2, I guess you could call it, with just these two models in particular. Kind of going over the base stats in particular with what to expect and how to expect them. Warbonnet A basically is more or less just a stronger version of what the original anime meant to be brought back with Medarot Day 23. So, going to be very exciting to see how those two end up changing up the meta when things do go forward. But in addition to these two, as far as other content is concerned, for boosted raids, both Smilodon and Warbonnet A also see two other familiar faces joining them as boosted raids in both their banners. Those two raids in particular are for EPP-0 Empress Patra, with the kits of Precognition, Punishment, Blow Away, Float Legs, and Through Fight. And we have TTM-0 Teki Mamira, with Charge Drain, Armor Drain, Confusion, Biped Legs, and Revenger. Now, again, very iconic and very familiar faces to anyone that has watched the anime, so it's going to be very nice to see these two kind of get just a little bit more time in the spotlight, much like they did last year leading up to Medarot Day with a similar anime tie-in collaboration. Now, as far as other content is, as far as other stuff is concerned and aware with the anime tie-in collab, it won't actually be a tie-in without actually bringing the original two back. So we're also seeing a rerun of the iconic Metabee himself, KBT-01 Metabee A, with Missile A, Rifle A, Gatling A, Biped Legs, and Battle Master. Additionally, we also see reruns for boosted raids on his banner specifically, for MRN-0 Blue Submarine, with Conceal, Double Anti-Sea, Sea Legs, and Primacy, who can also transform into a true submarine-based form with the kits of Sword, Fight, and Mobile Boost, Sea Legs, and Maintain Primacy. And we also see GAT-0 Sea Swallow, with Thunder Shot, Laser, Needle Guard, Biped Legs, and Carrier. So honestly, this is going to be a very exciting week thus far, just with those three models alone, for the incredible skills and the incredible stats that they do bring to the table. But we are most certainly not done yet, because we have one more familiar face also taking the spotlight with the rerun of this iconic anime tie-in collab. And that is, of course, KWG-01 Rokusho A, everybody's favorite well-known wandering Ronin stag. So, with a kit of Radar Sight A, Sword A, Hammer A, Biped Legs, and Voltage. Now, on Rokusho's banner, we see boosted raids for models such as KNG-0 Abyss Greater, which is Missile, Double Sacrifice, Sea Legs, and Aim, and PSC-0 Pisces, with Field Control, Double Charge Drain, Sea Legs, and Straight, who can also transform and gain a kit of Commander, Thunder, Freeze, Biped Legs, and Primacy. So, it's going to be a very exciting weekend. Like I said, the hype train is most certainly not stopping anytime soon as we draw closer to Medarot Day. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to be having in store for us as time does go on. Something to mention specifically about the banners for Warbonnet and Smilodon A is that they will be going live for 2 weeks. So basically on December 5th, 2024, they will be closing. So do make sure that if you are planning to go after them, this will be your golden opportunity to do so. If you're still looking for the Gridman Universe collaboration models, those will be sticking around just a week longer as well, so you still have some time to collect those if neither of these particular models do tickle your fancy specifically. As far as Fierce Battles are concerned, it's going to be another very mixed utility week as well as far as who is available for farming this week. On this top row, we're starting off with APL-01 Top Gunner with Radar Sight, Double Missile, Flight Legs, and Aim. We have FPR-0 Blue Corundum with Optic Guard, Press, Beam, Sea Legs, and Brilliance, and SCB-0 Kana Bunbun with Triple Bug, Multi-Legs, and Spearhead. On this bottom row, excuse me, on this bottom row we have PCP-0 War Headley with Optic Guard, Double Napalm, Tank Legs, and Heavy Arms. FSK-0 Jinban Fairy with Charge Plant, Double Claw, Flight Legs, and Snow Type. And RAY-04 Arago Star with Triple Beam, Wheeled Legs, and Excel. So it's going to be a very mixed utility week, like I said, and everyone has at least one part you could probably use to its full advantage if raised and invested into its proper capacity. Top Gunner, for instance, with Radar Sight, relatively solid Flight Legs for females if you do need them. Blue Corundum for Sea Legs with Brilliance if you do need that for whatever reason. Kana Bunbun for relatively solid multi-legs and Bug for turn skipping. War Headley mostly for tank legs and heavy arms, since that is kind of a good way to comp a good chunk of its weaknesses. Jinban Fairy for flight legs and snow type, which gives her fantastic coverage on terrain that most others are already struggling on. And Arago Star mostly for the wheeled legs as well, but if you did manage to collect somebody with, say, Glint or even Prism with Arc BDT, you might have a really good source there as well to make use of it. A lot of very solid bots this week, like I said. I would honestly have to give MVP of the week to Jinban Fairy specifically, because while Claw may have some relatively solid uses and Charge Plant also is pretty nice, Light Legs and Snow type is really where it's at, because that is the one terrain that almost nothing has any kind of solid mastery over, being completely honest. And anyone that does have Snow type gains a very significant terrain advantage, where others are just barely trying to barely negate the harsh terrain. This leg type will allow this leg ability will allow them to run circles around just everyone else in between. Now, as far as other collab stuff is going, we are seeing a rerun once again of the collab Medarotters that are going live with the anime tie-in as well. Just to explain briefly, Koji and Karen are both in the regular pool, so those two are not limited, but Victor specifically is. So this is your one shot to get him specifically. To explain each of the skills that they do offer across the board, Victor in particular will boost your success and your power by 30% of shooting skills for every consecutive use, stacking 5 times at a boost of 150%. So, if you have any dominant shooters in your party, this might be a very solid Medarotter of an ability that you can make good use of. Karen, on the other hand, will guarantee that upon being attacked, your armor will not fall below 50% as long as the skill remains active. Additionally, you also get a boost to your heat stat if the Medarot being used is either female or bipedal. And lastly, Koji, on the other hand, will buff your power and your evade relative to your charge gauge percentage. So another very solid use there based on what you choose to use with your utility. Once again, just as a reminder, Karen and Koji are both in the standard pool, so they are not going anywhere. but Victor specifically is the limited time model. So if you want to try to collect him, this is basically your one and only shot to pick him up over these next couple weeks. We do also have another round of the anime tie-in Super Invasion going live this week as well, featuring Smilodon A and Warbonnet A, very similar to how it was with Metabee and Rokusho A back with Medarot Day last year. So it is going to be a very good opportunity to pick up on some extra rubies and another nameplate, as you see here, which looks very snazzy, by the way. And all this is kind of making me begin to wonder just what this really big announcement on Medarot Day next week will be. But I will touch on that in just a little bit further down the line. As far as event stuff is concerned with the anime collab, it's going to be basically a full-fledged rerun of the Medarot Day collaboration from last year. So if you did miss it, this is a good opportunity for you to pick up on some missing bots and some good medals and Medarotters going forward. For this specific rerun, you have the opportunity to earn GOG 0 Goryango with the hammer, double power hammer, wheeled legs, and heavy arms. And as a friendly reminder, he is an event reward, so if you did miss him, this is your chance once again. You can also earn NTV 0 TP with triple melt, biped legs, and straight. You can also earn the R-rank versions for Medarotters Dr. Hebereki and Josuihan, as well as other anime screenshots and screen caps that were showcased last year for Medarot Day and the anime tie-in collab leading up to that. And of course, at this month's gacha banners for picking up on the highlighted models for online exhibition. So it is going to be a very busy and yet a very exciting week overall as we draw even closer to Medarot Day as a whole. The event itself will be featuring boss fight mechanics, so to explain briefly, upon completion of levels in the standard dungeon, you do have a chance to proc a boss encounter at random. When you do proc one, you can't stack those and stockpile them for up to 10, or you can go back and complete all of those, for a little bit harder of a difficulty but also a higher earnout of points. There are also two different types of rewards to be earned, the standard dungeon and of course your boss fight point. And with the bonus, as far as the bonuses are concerned, it will be pure sense and courage across the board. And as far as the boss fights are concerned, bonus bots also get an all stat boost relative to how useful and how viable they are. As far as the regular dungeon bonuses are concerned, as you see here, Empress Patra, Teki Teki Momira, Blue Sub, Sea Swallow, Pisces, and Abyss Creator all get a 10% bonus per part each, leading to up to about 40% or so. Sadashina Hime and Gato Arvo will give you a 9% bonus each, and the Fierce Battles plus TP and Goryango will give you a 6% bonus respectively. For Medarotters, the regular R-rank bonuses specifically for Ikki, Kuji, Karen, and Josuihan will give you a 10% bonus, and a 5% bonus for the standard and rank respectively. Now, for the boss fight bonuses on the other hand, it's going to be relatively simple this time around. If you have any of the 4 anime collab models, which are Metabee A, Rokusho A, Smilodon A, or Warbonnet A, that is a 15% bonus to boss fights per part equipped. For Medarotters, if you have SR Victor, that is a 20%, the SR versions of Ikki, Karen, and Kuji at 10%, and the R-rank Dr. Hebereki at 5%. So again, friendly reminder, the bots get an all-stat boost when participating in boss fights, and there are 2 different types of bonuses to accomplish. Being completely honest, I really don't think you have to pull too heavily for the banners this time around, especially given that the bonuses for the collab bots specifically isn't necessarily super exclusive, so even if you only have just one of them, you can still earn a lot of points pretty consistently with this type of event as a whole. And collecting bonuses between both the dungeon and the boss fight, like that being said, are not going to be nearly as difficult as it sounds. One other thing as far as Medarot Day is concerned, like I said, is as we do draw closer, it seems that Imagineer has been keeping their hand incredibly close to their chest on what to expect. All they've been telling us is that there will be a very special coverage on the day itself, November 28th, at approximately 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am planning to host an emergency coverage on that day as well, hopefully not too long after that event goes live so I can compile information and just kind of see what all the buzz is about when I wake up that morning, to kind of break it down and see how it goes. But based on what Producer-san says, it will be far exceeding expectations, and they have been working on it for quite some time. So I am very excited to see what this mysterious announcement is going to be, and just what the future of Medarot holds with this special coverage at about a little over a week from now at time of recording. As far as community-based stuff is concerned, we are always looking for translators to assist us with any current projects or endeavors. With Medarot 3 completed, we are putting a lot of effort being towards Medarot 4, and there is a new revitalized effort towards starting on translating the manga. So if you are knowledgeable in coding, reading Japanese, and have some time on your hands, or if you know somebody that might, definitely feel free to reach out or even have them join our Discord and ask around. And we are more than certainly happy to fill them in or even get them in touch with the right people, fill them in on what still needs done. Because there is a lot of text that needs done, a lot of typesetting, a lot of cleaning, a lot of grammar checks, and the more people that we have that are able to work on these things, the better. And I don't touch on it too heavily in other previous episodes, only if I actually remember to say it. But if you do decide that you don't know anybody or are able to and would love to still help out, spreading word or even looking down in the comments below to a crowdfunding that Variant put together for it as well will also be very incredibly beneficial. So we can still at least have some effort being put toward it, whether it be something that's translated in-house or if we have to commission some help from outside to give us a hand with more of the bulk. One other note to mention, as another reminder, I am always open for commissions, so anyone that's looking for a live 2D VTuber model ready to rig, 3D models fully rigged with the works and everything to go. I can do standard art of regular 2D of varying degrees of complexity and detail. I can do emotes or just about anything else of the similar. So feel free to reach out to me on Discord or on Twitter, or even on Blue Sky as well if you're on there now. Ask around, reach out to me. I leave my DMs open specifically on purpose, so we can try to make something happen and just try to get you off on the right foot without having to break the bank to do so. Now, another friendly reminder is, as of today, the Ori Meta Contest in Project Rising Beetle is officially closed. We will not be accepting any further entrants going forward, as I will be deliberating over all the entries that were submitted, and we got a pretty solid chunk of them last minute in the previous couple days. So it's going to be very exciting to see just all the effort that was put into all of those, and just kind of see which ones were the tops based on what was suggested. Now, my announcements for this are going to basically go one of two ways. The first of which is that it will be on the standard Tuesday coverage, where I announce the winners there, or depending on how it's shaping up for Medarot Day in a little over a week, I will instead post the announcement there instead as part of the emergency coverage with whatever this new announcement seems to be. So it will be one of those 2 days in this coming week, and please do stay tuned with me on the channel on that when that announcement does go live. One other thing to mention, I just want to kind of gush about this for a minute before I do close us out, is my What is Medarot collab that I've been hyping up and talking about for the last couple months. For those that tuned in on Saturday, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with me and my special guest for a time. I like to believe that the collaboration was a massive success of truly epic proportions. We talked about basically everything about Medarot, from what it is, what entails it, what can they do, where has it been, and even how you can support the series, and a lot of in-depth detail and discussion that was previously never known to Western audience. And all of my guests had a wonderful time. It was a fantastic moment and a fantastic vibe and energy all around. Everyone had a lot of fun, and everything was incredibly engaging. I'm so happy that it was such a success, and I have to thank you guys for that as well. The stream will be permanently available on my channel for viewing at any given time, so if you did end up missing it and couldn't tune in, don't worry about it. It is going to be on the channel. It is not going anywhere. Because my goal of that video was to be a ultimate beginner's guide to everything about the series. So anytime that you want to show somebody or tell somebody about the series, that's going to be something that you can send them in order to get their attention and even fill them in on all the really nice in-depth lore bits and nitty-gritty. I was very happy with how well that turned out. And on that topic, as I do officially wrap us up, I am going to kind of skip ahead just a little bit here with my usual farewell. Please do be sure that you give my dear guests and friends a follow as well that were present for that collaboration. Thane, Gold, Vector, Toad, Helmchan, all of them were wonderful guests. They all told me they had a great time. Lots of stuff that blew their minds, incredibly enlightening, and they are all wonderful dear friends of mine. Fantastic vibes, great stuff on their own channels, Medarot or not. Please be sure you give them a follow and support. Tell them your old pal Kura sent you their way, and they'll know exactly what to do. But with all that being said, I am going to go ahead and wrap us up here officially, though. So if you'd like to know more, you can follow us below on Facebook at the Medarot News Network page or the Metabots Forever community, which has skyrocketed over 40,000 members and still growing by the day. I'm so excited to see how far that community has grown in the last just year alone, and I'm excited to see just how more it's going to grow as time does on. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to keep an even closer ear to the ground on the action. This includes any new links to merchandise, fan art, contests, announcements, my weekly episodes, or anything else of the like. That's the first place you're going to hear it before it goes anywhere else on the net whatsoever. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at ItsuGamiKura. Same thing can be said for Blue Sky as well if you're on there and decided to dump the Bird app. So feel free to reach out to me there as well for either commissions or questions, or even if you want to possibly collaborate with me me stopping in on your channel for a friendly chat, or you stopping in on mine, of which there is always a seat here at the MNN for anyone that would like to learn. But with all that being said, as always, I do appreciate you all for stopping in, just as you always do. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Itsugami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.